I'm your host, Josie Van Dyke, and I am sitting next to the Irish twin mama, Montana Coles, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to Weekly Trash.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you.
I'm so excited to be here.
Irish twin mama over here.
It's so surreal.
Like, how old are they now?
19 months and 8 months.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We need a dumpster deep dive you. We need to take out the Irish twin trash.
I'm so excited.
Because that is, I can't even fathom having that age gap.
Honestly, me neither.
Like,
But it's happening. This is my
happening.
reality.
This is your life. You're doing it. You look
Yes.
flawless.
You're
You
so
look
sweet.
amazing. I would be a wreck. So you're amazing.
Thank you.
But we need a dumpster deep dive you.
Okay, I'm
So,
ready.
You ready? Okay.
Yes.
Today's episode is brought to you by ClearStem. I started using ClearStem about a month ago after I decided to change up my skincare routine since I started experiencing some larger breakouts, especially on my chin, my cheeks, and I have been loving it because let's be real, clear skin changes everything. And right now my top two favorites would have to be the Hydro Glow Moisturizer and the ClearStem Gentle Clean Vitamin Infused Calming Wash. Oh my gosh, you guys, I was shook when I put this cleanser on my face and it smelled so good. It was so refreshing. I feel like I have never had a face wash smell good and also be clean, good ingredients. It truly was like I was washing my face with an orange. It was so refreshing. But more about ClearStem because you need to know about it because it really is now my new favorite. ClearStem helps you treat acne and aging at the same time without using skin irritants, parabens, phthalates, or pore clogging ingredients. If you've dealt with breakouts, you know that the typical acne products dry out and damage the skin, while traditional anti-aging products can clog your pores. ClearStem is your clean, comprehensive, and all-in-one approach addressing both acne and aging without compromising your holistic health. And not only that, but if you feel like you are struggling with super intense breakouts and need even more help, ClearStem has created the revolutionary acne lab test. So you can receive individualized support from a nutritional therapy practitioner to analyze your blood work, identify your underlying acne triggers, and implement personalized lifestyle-centric solutions to clear your skin from within. The ClearStem team will help guide you and uncover the root cause of your breakouts and create your personalized roadmap to clear skin for life. Discover the ClearStem difference and experience clear, healthy skin for life. Go to clearstem.com/weeklytrash and use code weeklytrash at checkout for 15% off your first order. That's CLEARSTEM.com/weeklytrash and code is weeklytrash for 15% off your order. Thank you, ClearStem, for sponsoring today's episode. Montana, where are you from?
I'm from Destin, Florida. It is like it
A
used
dream.
to be. Yes, such a tiny little fisherman's town, but now everyone knows where it is.
Yeah.
Seaside, 30A.
Yeah.
That's my hometown.
Okay. So like, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but like, are your parents loaded?
No, they're not. But
like,
they had a good job.
But could they sell their house now and probably make a crap ton because it's
yeah.
in Destin?
Yes.
Like
yeah.
that is prime real estate.
Yes. And we didn't live right on the beach.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were a 45-second drive.
Because Destin
beach.
is gorgeous.
Stunning.
I want to go so bad, but the problem is there's no direct flights.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like
very
kind of
tricky.
annoying to get there.
Yes.
And all my friends that go there, okay, I have one friend that goes there and she's like, I just charter a plane. And I'm like,
Oh,
cool.
same.
Yeah, same. Let me just
Get me
charter a
on
plane
there.
to go to Destin. No, I'm going to be flying Delta.
Yes.
And there's like 10 different layovers.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to have to deal with that.
When we would fly to visit here, Utah,
Yeah.
we would drive to New Orleans because that was the closest
okay.
way we could get a direct flight.
Gotcha.
And with 4 kids, it's just, you got to do what you
so
got to do.
So you have 3 siblings.
3 younger sisters.
So
oldest
you're
of
the
4.
oldest.
Yes.
Okay. And what's the age gap between you and your youngest?
8 years.
8 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are all pretty close, like 2 years apart.
Well, so my mom had 3 of us in 3.5 years. And my third sister was very hard, colicky baby, didn't sleep, super difficult. So my mom was like, okay, I know we have another one coming, but
Let's take a minute.
yeah.
Okay. So your mom kind of had Irish twins too.
Yes, she had me and my sister 20 months apart.
Yeah.
And then
2
the
and
next
2,
one. Yeah.
which is different than Irish twins, but still
Yes.
very close together.
Yes.
Okay. And you grew up Mormon
Yes. Yep.
in Destin. Was that like a common thing?
No, but I lived in the Bible Belt. And so it was
Yeah.
very common to have religious friends. I had a Catholic friend, a Methodist friend. It was very normal to live a little bit more of a strict religion, I would say. So it wasn't weird. at all.
It wasn't weird.
Yeah.
And Destin, so I'm assuming you loved the beach. Did you
Yes.
surf? Did you do any of that kind of stuff?
I was in like little surfing competitions when I was little, but
No way.
Destin isn't really known for waves unless there's a
Okay.
hurricane. You just
Okay.
get the cute little waves that are great for kids to play in. And so
Gotcha.
it was a cute little wave that you got to surf on. But
No, Destin truly is like my dream location.
it's stunning.
Like the hotels on 30A.
Oh, yeah.
Gorgeous. It's
No,
so
it's
expensive.
perfect. Yes.
That's why I'm like, are your parents just like sitting on a brick of money? Because that's crazy.
Yes.
But they're still there?
No, so they're here.
Okay.
We moved to Utah when I was 15 to go to high school.
Okay.
And yeah, that was really.
Was it just to come to Utah for
Yeah,
high school?
God just told him, hey, you're done with this phase of life in Florida. We need you and your family to move to Utah.
Really?
Yeah.
And were they from Utah?
So my mom was from Utah, born and raised Provo.
Okay.
And then my dad actually moved back and forth from Destin to Utah growing up.
Okay.
Every few years they would move back to Florida and then come back to
Okay.
Provo. So they were very familiar. All of our family was here in Utah.
So do you still have family in Destin at all?
Just my aunt
Okay.
and her kids.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you come to Utah at 15. You don't know anybody. You go to
No
high
one.
school.
Yeah, it was so hard because my sisters all had cousins their age.
Yeah.
So they had a little bit of an in that way, but I was alone. I didn't have anyone my age. And so that was really difficult telling a 15-year-old, hey, you're
Yeah.
done with your friends in Florida. We're moving across the country.
Well, in Florida and Utah are very different. I was actually born in Florida.
Oh, cute.
Orlando, not Destin, not as cute. Just kidding. Orlando's cute too. But very different.
Yes,
Not just like
yes.
culturally, but weather-wise, like everything about it is different.
Totally, yes.
And to be 15 years old, like you are from Florida. Like
Yes.
that is where you grew up.
Yes, like had a Southern accent, moved to
Yeah.
Utah. People are like, why do you talk like that?
Yeah. So where'd you go to high school?
I went to Timpview.
Okay.
Loved it.
And you loved high
honestly.
school.
Yes.
So it ended
was
up
one of
being
those-
okay.
Yes. So I couldn't do cheer in Florida because it was way too expensive.
Okay.
And so when we were moving to Utah, my parents were like, hey, you can do cheer out there if it makes it a little bit easier. And so we moved the summer before my freshman year. And so that was really nice because you have cheer practice all summer long. And so I got to get to know so many of the girls.
Oh,
and
that's good.
it helped with the first day of school jitters
Yeah.
a little bit more.
And so you were on the cheer team.
Yes.
You were the cheerleader. You
Yes.
also told me that you were like part of school,
Like student government.
Student government.
Yes. Did that junior and senior year.
And you used to be pretty popular to do that. So were you a
Yes.
popular girly, Montana?
Yes, I was.
I love it. You were social. I was a social
Yes,
butterfly
yeah.
too. I get it. That's
Yeah.
like where I thrived. Like people aren't surprised when they know that like I talk for a living. I'm
Totally.
like,
Yeah.
duh.
It works. Yeah.
So high school seemed like a prime time
Yes.
for you.
Yes.
Did you get good grades? You seem like someone who would get good grades.
Yeah. I was very much like type A,
Love
get your
it.
stuff done, AP classes. Yeah.
What did you want to go into? Like what were your goals in high school?
Honestly, I wanted to be a hairstylist.
Really?
And my
Okay.
mom and my counselor were like, no, you're too smart to do that. So
Yeah.
we need you to go to college.
Yeah.
Like, no, but that's not what I want to do. I don't care. I like being smart. I
Yeah.
like to learn, but I'm also very creative. And so
Yeah.
I wanted to do something else. But
But you ended up going to BYU.
yes, yes.
And what did you study at BYU?
So I wanted to get done as quickly as possible.
Okay.
And I finished in 2.5 years, which
Wow.
was so fast. But
So yeah, you're very smart.
yes, I just cruised. It helped too because I was there during COVID. And so
Okay.
I was able to do so many classes online, which definitely helped a lot.
For sure.
But I studied family life and specifically biological foundations.
What is that?
So yeah, I couldn't even tell you.
Is that
either.
like science?
Kind of, but you're just studying a human, just their development from when they're in utero
Okay.
all the way up until they pass away.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Okay, so you graduate with that. What career can you go into with that?
So you kind of have to go on to do more school if you want to continue in that path. You could do like speech pathology. You could study just different things. You have to get a master's though to
Yeah.
be using
Okay.
your degree.
So you tapped out once you graduated. You're like, that's all I wanted.
Yep. I needed 134 credits
good.
to graduate. I graduated with 134.5. So
Overachiever. Overachiever. But you served a
done.
mission.
Yes, I did.
Mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
yes.
Did you always want to serve a mission growing up?
No. I was that girl that was like, hey, I am graduating high school. I want to be married by the time I'm 18. Just live a cute little mom and husband
Yeah.
and have babies life.
18.
Yeah,
Oh
that was
gosh.
my mom.
Was that common in Florida for people around you to get married that young?
No, just my mom did it. And
She got married at 18.
yes, yeah. And had me at 21 and
Did
lived her
her
life.
how did she meet your dad?
They lived across the street from each other. So he got home from his mission
Okay.
and my mom was hanging out with his younger brothers, and then was like, wait, you're actually older than me and I like you better, so let's go on a date. And
married at
this is
18. So
history.
that was,
Yeah.
you're like, I'm going to follow in mom's footsteps. I'm going to get married at 18. So what changed?
I decided to go on a study abroad, which was
Okay.
really fun. We went to London, Paris, and
During
Scotland.
college?
Yes. But as I was applying to the study abroad, you go through like an interview process. And I remember walking out of my study abroad interview, and I remember hearing a voice saying, if you don't go on a study abroad, you're going to go on a mission. And I just remember literally looking up to the heavens and just laughing. Like, God, you know I'm not going on a mission.
Yeah,
That is not for me.
Yeah, no.
So no, I'm not doing that. But over the course of like 5 or 6 days, you know BYU, it's mostly members of the church. And I am not kidding when I say I had 10 different people come up to me, say, hey, I don't know you, but I just felt impressed to tell you that you would be an amazing missionary. And they would walk away. So the first 4 or 5, I was like, you have no idea who I am. Like, you don't know what's going on.
What the heck?
But then after multiple more, I was like, okay, God, like, this is a sign. Like,
that's crazy.
You're trying to tell me something.
Yeah.
So I just remember going home to my dorm and saying a prayer, and I was like, so do you want me to do this? I don't want to, but I will do it if you feel like I should, and ended up going.
So you do the study abroad first.
And then left 3 weeks after.
So you had like put your mission papers in before you went study abroad?
Yes. So my study abroad was 9 weeks long.
Okay.
And so it was the perfect amount of time to be away and then go back home for a few weeks. And then leave.
Where'd you get called to serve?
North Dakota.
Very random.
Yes. So
were you kind of like, God?
Yeah.
I
like
wanted out of the
told
country.
Me, no, honestly, at least speaking another language.
Yeah.
I was like, I would love to go to like DC and speak Mandarin Chinese. That was like a dream.
Yeah. Very intelligent to want to learn Mandarin Chinese. That's like
but
the
I was
hardest
like, if
language.
I want to do business in the future, Chinese is an amazing language to know. So
you get called to North Dakota. What was your initial reaction when you read it?
Oh, just my heart sank.
Was it in front of people? Like, did you do the whole thing?
Yep. And I was just like, oh, like what? Who's been to North Dakota?
Yeah, like
what's out there?
Yeah.
But I mean, it was in North and South Dakota, which was fun. And then parts of Minnesota, Nebraska, and Montana. So it was covering a huge area. But I was a lot of the time in South Dakota, and it's so much prettier than North Dakota.
Oh,
so that
really?
was nice. Yes.
What's the differences?
North Dakota is flat. There are no trees.
There's no trees?
No, literally there's nothing there. You drive and drive and drive and drive. You hit a little town that has like 15 trees in the town, and then you drive and drive and drive and drive, and you just see corn or just wheat fields.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's ugly. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no.
For people who live there, it's like that would just be their normal life.
But it's winter 10 months out of the year.
Oh my
gosh. So it's freezing cold. There's snow everywhere. And so that you don't see anything else. So it's crazy.
Sounds miserable.
Yeah.
If anybody listening lives there, like how do you survive? Like how do you like it?
Yeah, it's freezing.
Especially when you come from Florida.
Exactly.
The most green, luscious, beautiful place.
Yes.
And then North Dakota, cold and sad.
Yes.
But did you like your mission?
I loved it for what it was. I loved the people that I met. And it was a great experience to be away from home, but still in the United States. I ended up loving being stateside because I had a car. I never had to walk or ride a bike.
Well, walking in North Dakota would have sucked.
Miserable. But I had a Walmart down the street. Yeah. My mom could deliver Amazon packages to me. So it ended up working out, and I wasn't learning a new culture or a language or anything like that. I really liked speaking English. But yeah, it was
because
a once in a lifetime.
You felt this impression by God to go.
Yeah.
When you were out there, did you have a moment where you were like, oh, this is why? Or not really?
I feel like just a little bit along the way. I would just say like think to myself like, oh, this is why I was here. I met this certain person, whether I was a companion or a person I was able to teach. It was just like, oh, this is really cool, a cool opportunity. But I also ended up meeting my husband there. Oh, and so when that all happened, I was like, okay, this is why I had to come to the boonies.
Gotcha. So you met your husband. Did he live in North Dakota or was he a missionary?
He was also a missionary.
Okay.
And he had been out for almost his whole mission. So boy served for 2 years.
Yes.
And he had been out for like 18 months. So he had 6 months left when we met.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you met him, was it an instant connection?
No, because one, I had a missionary out.
Oh,
and then two, my companion was obsessed with him. Was like, Elder Coles, we are going to go home the same transfer. We're going to get married and have the cutest kids. And so I never looked at him in that way. I was like, oh, you're just a fun guy to hang out with.
Yeah.
So
what's the dynamic being a sister missionary around the brother call them brother missionaries.
yeah.
Why does that sound so weird saying that?
You say elder.
Elder, that's
Yes,
right. I'm
yes.
like, that didn't sound right coming out of my mouth.
Yes.
But sisters, brothers, I don't know. But what is that dynamic? Because you can't touch.
No.
You can't actually hang out. For those who aren't members who don't get it, it's not like you guys can go and do things together, and it's very much divided.
Yes. Something that was different a little bit about my mission that I've realized after being home is that we actually did a lot with the elders in our areas. Like on P days on the Monday that's kind of like your break day.
Yeah.
We would all go to the church, play games, hang out and stuff like that. And so you had a little bit more of a friendship type thing than just like a passing, hey, elder or hey, sister.
Gotcha.
And so that was a little bit more helpful too, because I could get to know him more as just a person instead of I'm an elder missionary, you know?
Yeah.
And so that was really, really nice. And just for my mental health too, to just have friends.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I can
Because did
talk
you get
to
along with all of your companions?
No.
No. What stood out to you as a bad companion? Like someone that you're like, we are not going to mesh?
Someone that just doesn't want to work with you. That it's kind of like my way or the highway. Because I'm a very much non-confrontational person.
Gotcha.
I will go with the flow, do whatever you want in order to avoid contention.
Keep the peace.
Yes, exactly. But when they just would fight, I just couldn't deal with that.
How many companions did you have?
I had a lot actually, because I was in a lot of trios.
Gotcha.
And that's a little bit more rare. Usually you're just a duo. I think I ended up having like 21 companions over the 18 months.
And out of all of them, how many would you say that you became friends with?
Probably like 15 or 16. So
okay,
a
so
majority.
a good amount.
Yes.
A good amount.
Yes, but the ones that I didn't get along with just, stick in your brain.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
Did you get along with the one that was obsessed with your husband?
Yes.
Okay,
We were best friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then how did you end up having a romantic connection to your now husband?
So they went home the same transfer and went out on a couple dates, but he ended up telling her like, hey, I actually like Montana and not you. And she is amazing. She was like, okay, great. I don't like you either. Like, this is going to be great for us.
Yeah.
And Montana's amazing. So
did you
go
feel
for it.
that he maybe liked you?
Honestly, no. I just didn't look in, I wasn't looking in that way.
Well, good. You were on your mission.
Yes,
You're supposed
exactly.
to be preaching the gospel. You're supposed to trying to find a husband.
Yes, exactly. And I had a missionary out too.
Yeah.
And so I was like, no, we're just going to go home and get married. So I wasn't looking for that.
And the missionary that you had out, did you date all throughout high school?
Just my senior year
Just senior
of high
year.
school. Yeah.
Okay. And you were pretty set on like, he was your person?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, how set can you be as a senior in high school? Like that's just how you feel, you know?
Yeah.
But so then after he went home from his mission, the change was made where you could call home. So that was in the middle of my mission. And my mission president was also really amazing in that way because we could call family and friends because he knew that a lot of people didn't have an amazing supportive family. And so he was like, if you would rather call a best friend, then that's going to be way more beneficial to you. And so there were a few times that I would call my family and then call him and we would just chat and whatever, get to know each other a little bit more. But then I had a few months left on my mission and he messaged me. He was like, hey, okay, I have to confess. I like you. We don't need to talk about this right now because I know you're still a missionary, but I just want to tell you. And I was like, wait, I actually like you too. Now that you're saying that, like, I think this
Is he from Utah?
Yeah, he's from Orem.
Okay.
Which is so nice.
Okay, but you guys did not know each other prior.
No, so he went to Timpanogos and played basketball. I ended up cheering for a few of his games just when Timothy would play Timpanogos, but I had no idea who he was and he had no idea who I was.
So you get home, were you still talking to the other missionary?
Kind of. We were broken up on the mission, but I had told him like, hey, I'm going to go out on dates with everyone. If you want to ask me out, great. If you don't, great. And then he never asked me out. And so it just
so it was kind of an easy breakup.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
yes,
so you get home and you guys started dating right away?
Yes, right away.
And how soon were you like, put a ring on it, I want to be an 18-year-old wife?
Like day of.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Because how old were you when you got married?
I was 21.
21. Mm-hmm. And he was is he a year older than you?
Yes, yeah.
So 21 and 22.
Yep.
Getting married.
Yes.
How long did you date before you actually got engaged?
So I got home in December of 2019.
Okay.
So then COVID hits February, March-ish of 2020. And he was going out to do summer sales, but he was like, wait, I don't want to go out without you. I don't know what this world is going to look like.
Yeah.
Why don't we just get married before and do a little 10 people backyard wedding? And I was like all on board for it because I was in love with him. I was like, why not? Let's do it. And my parents were like, no. Like, you've barely known this kid and we don't know this kid either.
Yeah.
And oldest daughter, they're like, wait, no, this is not what we had in store for you.
Yeah.
But we just ended up getting married in April of 2020. So 4 months.
Did your parents go to the wedding?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were there.
Because you hear stories where like parents don't even show up at the wedding.
Totally.
But they were there.
Yes, they were there. They were supportive.
They were? Okay.
Outward facing, but I knew.
It was hard for them.
Yes, and they were like, we'd rather you wait, get to know this kid a little bit more. But in my mind, I was like, I've known this kid for over a year. We knew each other on the mission. We've been talking all this time while I was gone. And so when I came home, I felt like it was just meant to be.
Yeah. So you get married after, what is that?
4 months.
4 months. Sorry to interrupt, but today's episode is brought to you by Bohm. Spring is approaching, and if you're looking to refresh your wardrobe with stylish, effortless pieces, you need to check out Bohm. Founded by two sisters with a passion for fashion, Bohm brings you timeless, curated styles that make getting dressed so easy. Whether you're shopping for breezy dresses, statement tops, or the perfect denim, Bohm has everything to elevate your spring look. Get 20% off with code 20JOSIE at checkout. Head to bohm.com, BOHME.com. And again, it's code 20JOSIE, JOSIE for 20% off. And thanks, Bohm, for sponsoring today's episode. And you move to California?
Yes. Yeah. So we moved to Arizona.
Oh, Arizona.
And then California. Just with COVID, you just had to be in Arizona.
And did you finish, were you done with school by the time you got married?
No, I was still going.
So he's out selling during the day. You're home doing school.
And working.
What were you doing for work at that time?
I was doing customer service for Call to Serve, just a local Utah boutique.
And so once you graduated, what were your plans?
Become a mom. Honestly,
you were ready, gung-ho. You're like, give me the babies.
Yep.
And did he feel the same? He was.
Yeah, and we had been married for almost 4 years before I got pregnant, and so it was just good timing of everything. But yeah, we both were we knew we wanted to have a family together.
So did you get pregnant pretty quick?
Yeah, first time.
First time.
Yes.
Get pregnant.
Yes.
And what was that pregnancy like?
Amazing. So smooth sailing, no throwing up, no nausea, just felt incredible.
And labor?
9 months, amazing.
Love?
Yeah, I got induced because we were living in California. I was like, but I want my mom here.
Gotcha.
And so she flew out and we got induced, and I loved getting induced, honestly. I'm a planner, so I loved going in at 8 a.m.
Knowing exactly when.
Yes. And labor and birth were amazing. Got the epidural and pushed her out in 3 pushes. And just
slay, not me, but cool. And so having your mom not live in the same state as you and your mom, was that hard?
It was, but after we had my daughter for a month and we moved home. So we were in the works of moving home, but I didn't want to be moving home when I was 8 months pregnant. We just weren't ready for that yet.
Yeah. So you move home and you were able to have your support system.
Yes. All of my sisters here. My second sister, she had a baby already.
Okay.
And so it was so fun to be raising
these have cousins together.
Yes.
We love that. So motherhood, did you feel like there was anything that came that was unexpected or something that you were like, oh, this is new to me? Like, did you have any postpartum depression or anxiety?
I didn't, luckily. But I wouldn't say there was necessarily anything unexpected about motherhood. It was more unexpected how much you don't know as a mom, because people talk about that motherhood instinct. And I felt like I had that, but so much of that instinct is just guessing and figuring it out. And I felt like that almost was more overwhelming to me, because my husband would ask, oh, what does she need? What should I do? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just guessing and trying to figure her out. We're both learning together. And that was really overwhelming at first for me, just figuring out how am I supposed to know everything about this baby?
Yeah. No, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And then especially in your case, when you get pregnant, 4 weeks later?
So I got pregnant at 8 weeks postpartum is my doctor's guess.
Is when they think it happened.
Yes.
Because did you wait the full 6 weeks?
Yes.
And what were you using anything to prevent?
No, because I was breastfeeding. I didn't go
Who told you that?
I didn't go to my 6 weeks appointment. I didn't go because we had just moved back to Utah, and I was like, I'm fine. I had a great birth. I feel normal down there. And so I was like, we'll just miss out on this appointment. It's fine. And so I didn't have a nurse telling me, by the way, I know you're fully breastfeeding, but you can still get pregnant.
Yeah.
Because my mom had 4 girls, never had anything in between, was breastfeeding and was totally fine. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm fine. Didn't even cross my mind that I could get pregnant.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So how did you find out you were pregnant? Because when you're breastfeeding and you're postpartum, you're not having periods. Really.
No. And your body is so out of normal already.
Yeah, like you still look pregnant when you're 6 weeks postpartum.
Yes. And so come 3.5 months postpartum, I start getting really nauseous. And I was like, it's probably because I forgot taking my prenatals. And so why don't I take my prenatals for a week and see where we're feeling? Maybe my body is just deficient in all of the minerals and vitamins that it needs. So I eat really well for a week and I'm still really nauseous. I'm like, what is going on? So I was like, okay, I just need to take a pregnancy test so that I can call the doctor's office and say, hey, I'm not pregnant, but I'm not feeling well. Something's up. And so I took the pregnancy test and my husband was bouncing our daughter. She was going through that wild 4-month sleep regression. Yeah. She's asleep in his arms. And I'm like, why don't I film it? It's just fun to like take a test and why not film, you know? And I look at it and it was just like, what? It's pregnant and very much pregnant. And it was, my heart sunk a little bit. Like, how is this even possible? Like we've probably had sex once and the one time it worked and now we're bringing another child to earth.
And you have a 4-month-old.
Yes.
How did you tell him? Did you immediately scream and we were like,
well, no, he was in there with me.
Oh, he was in the room?
I saw the test and turned to him and was like, and he's like, you're joking. And I was like, no, I'm not joking. Like
this is real.
Yes.
This is happening.
Yes. This is not a test from before.
And at that point, you don't know how far along you are.
No, I have no clue.
And how far along were you at that point?
At that point, I was probably like 2 months. 2 months.
Oh
pregnant.
My goodness. Yeah. So like 7-ish, 8-ish weeks.
Yeah. So very much pregnant. And
gosh.
My husband was just like, I trusted you. Like I thought we were fine. And we're just in the trenches of postpartum and 4-month sleep regression and not sleeping.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so we're having another baby in 6-7 months from now.
So you immediately probably call a doctor and you're like, I need to book an appointment. I need to see how far freaking along I am.
Yes. And so the doctor actually was like, we need you to wait like 8 weeks because we don't know how far along you are. 2, we don't want you to come in and we can't find a heartbeat and freak you out. So we're just going to have you wait a little bit longer and then you can come in and we'll see how far along you are.
They wanted you to wait 8 weeks from that mark. So then by the time you went in, you were what, 16 weeks pregnant?
Yeah.
Wait, that's insane.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm starting to show by this point.
Yeah, like, you're well into your second trimester. That's so weird.
Yes, exactly.
That they would, what?
I know.
Especially because they knew that you just had a baby. Like you would want to know.
Yes.
Because your body's so out of whack.
Whack, you just but also still healing.
Yeah, like that's crazy.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so you go into that appointment.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, I'm 16 freaking weeks pregnant.
Yes, yeah. And he was like, well, yep, there's a baby in there. Like,
and they could tell the gender.
Yeah, they didn't at that point. But yeah.
So you're showing, when did you find out the gender?
We did the blood test again. And so a week later, found out.
So you found out real quick, another girl.
Yes.
Did you feel like it was going to be a girl?
Yes, because when we found out we were pregnant with my first, we both really felt like it was twins.
Yeah.
And so when we go to the first ultrasound and there's only one baby in there, I was like, oh, sounds good. Maybe we'll get twins another way. And so then when I got pregnant again, I was like, wait, this is my twins.
This is the Irish twins.
Yes. A little bit different of just a typical. Yeah. But still little twins that were meant to be very, very, very close.
Very close.
Yeah.
What was the pregnancy like having a 4-month-old baby?
It was, as you can imagine, a lot harder because pregnancy, you're already so exhausted.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you have a baby who is hardly sleeping, but we sleep trained my baby and she has slept through the night ever since she was 5 months old.
Oh,
and so
that is a blessing.
She was just such a dream baby in the way that she was an amazing eater, an amazing sleeper. And so it gave me so much peace and reassurance that I could have another baby so quickly. Because if it were opposite, my second, love her to death, but she is another breed. She is a much harder baby. If it had been the other way around, my anxiety would have been so much worse.
Yeah, I bet. How did your body feel though?
Honestly, amazing.
Like it was just like, oh, we just did this.
Yes.
Let's go again.
Yeah. It didn't feel any different from my first, which was more shocking to me. I thought I would have more pains and aches and a little bit more soreness down there, but it was great.
And did you keep breastfeeding throughout that pregnancy? No, I'm like, oh my gosh.
No, that was another clue to me that something was going on because my milk supply had immediately dropped around the time that like right before I was going to take a test. And so we started supplementing with formula because my body just couldn't keep up growing a human and breastfeeding another human.
That's so much.
And then still trying to keep myself healthy and everything.
What did your family think when you told them?
Oh my gosh. Just absolutely shocked.
I bet.
We just put my little daughter in a onesie that said big sister, and my dad got her out of her car seat. Didn't think anything of it. Love my dad, but he doesn't notice the pregnancy cues. No. My mom turns and looks at her and goes, "What?" And just,
did you get it on film?
No, I wish I would have.
You should have.
I know. Everything was just such a blur at that time in life.
Oh my gosh. Is that when your social media kind of blew up?
No, I actually started posting hair tutorials when we were living in California, and that's what blew up my socials. Not really my Instagram, but for sure TikTok. I just got in at that right time.
Gotcha.
And
so you'd already kind of established a social media career before the Irish twins situation.
Yes. So I had like posted randomly that I was pregnant and would post little vlogs here and there, but I was pretty strict on the hair.
Not the daily life vlogs.
No.
Hair.
Yes.
Got it. Did you ever think about maybe going to hair school? Because I know that was like a passion of yours.
Yes, but no, also at the same time. I was like, my life is already so far past that. I didn't care to go back and do that. Yeah.
So you just did it yourself, hairstyles, cute hair.
Yes.
You have beautiful hair.
Oh, you're so nice.
So you have your Irish twins.
Yes.
You give birth. Was that birth similar to your first?
Yes, very much. I didn't get induced with her. My doctor told me it was much more common as an Irish twin mom with your second to give birth starting at 36 weeks. Just because your body's like, wait, we've already done this. Let's get this going. So I got a membrane sweep at my 38-week appointment, and she came.
Did your water break?
After that? No. My water never broke with either of my babies.
Okay. You just got membrane sweep, and then it was like crampy
contractions started.
Okay.
Yep.
So you come home, you have a 9-month-old.
Yeah. 10 and a half.
10.5-month-old.
Yes.
And a newborn baby.
Yes.
Did you feel overwhelmed?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was just so many emotions. You already have so many hormone changes, let alone a new pregnancy on top of that. Plus now 2 babies who both very much still need their mama.
Yeah.
And my older one didn't understand what was going on.
No.
But also she didn't know any different. She woke up one day and there was a baby there, and that's how it's been ever since. She doesn't remember a life before. But it was a lot. It was a lot. I don't have any other words to explain.
Yeah. Did you struggle with any postpartum depression, anxiety that time around?
Luckily, no.
Really? That's very lucky.
Yes. I was very grateful because I don't know how I would have managed.
Yeah.
Taking care of 2 babies plus figuring out all of those things.
Did your marriage change at all with having 2 babies so close together? Because you're both sleep deprived, you're both stressed, and people always say you get kind of in a roommate phase, you know, when you're in that newborn phase. And then for you guys to go from newborn phase to pregnancy back to newborn phase within a span of 10 months, like that could sometimes be hard on a marriage.
Totally. But I felt like we had been such good friends before that our communication was so good. It felt just right where we needed to be for that time.
Yeah.
And my husband is also amazing. He can tell the second something's off with me.
Oh, good.
And so that was so beneficial because a lot of times I don't even know what's going on with myself before he notices that something's off. And so he can come to me and say, hey, are you okay? What's going on? And I can sit and really self-reflect like, oh, yeah, maybe I'm not feeling amazing right now. Maybe I'm not feeling all the right things. Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yes.
Because that would be really hard.
So
you have like a very like supportive, you guys are a team.
Yes, very much so.
Because what does he do for work?
So then he was working. He was doing sales still, but now he's home.
So you are the breadwinner now.
Yes, I am.
That's amazing.
Yes, it's been so great.
So when did you get to that point where you were like, no, I can support us?
I think about 4 or 5 months ago.
Okay.
And he also is the type of person, he's like, the second you are overwhelmed with all of this and that weight that you carry being the breadwinner, I'm willing to go back to work.
Okay.
And
good.
Which is so also very much beneficial as a mom, full-time mom, and then also full-time content creator. It's a lot, but it's also so amazing because I can explore my passions while he's able to be playing with the girls. Like right now, he's home with both of my girls. I
Yeah.
don't have to hire a babysitter or anything like that. He's home with them.
That's amazing. When do you feel like your social media even brought a good amount of money? Because there's a difference between like making money and then making
Yes.
money to support a family. But it's really exciting when you just start making some good money.
Yes.
When did that start?
Right after Valley was born, my
Okay.
second.
Okay.
I think a lot of people obviously are very curious about what Irish twin
Yeah.
life looks like. And so when she was born, I would post a weekly vlog or stuff like that. And people were so interested in it. And so that's when my page really took off from there.
Gotcha.
Mostly on Instagram, I would say. And TikTok has always been there.
Yeah.
But Instagram definitely took off by that point.
And did you have management? Do you have management now?
Yes. So I had management right before I had my first, which
Okay.
was really nice. Loved them, but they just weren't the best fit for me. So right before I had Valley, I switched, and now we are besties. I love them.
Love
so
that.
much. Yes.
And so taking that leap of being like, okay, you can quit your job and I'm going to provide, what kind of gave you that feeling of, okay, it's time? Because that's a scary thing to do.
Yes, it is very much. So honestly, my husband got laid off. And so
Really?
we started looking, hey, where are we?
Yeah.
Can we make this work? And do we want to make this work? Because there's a very big difference
Yeah.
between that we're going to be penny pitching, but we can do it. And no, we're going to be just fine.
Yeah.
And we were more on that, we're going to be just fine. And we were like, why not? Why not have him be home when our girls are so little
Yeah.
and make these memories all together as a family and be able to
love
support
that.
each other in that way. Yeah.
No, that's amazing. So now that he's at home with the kids, do you feel like you've been able to even dive in deeper into what you're creative and what you want to do and build with social media?
Yes and no. I still am trying to figure that out. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure most content creators don't know exactly what they want to
Yeah.
do right when it happens. But I feel like I've just been able to let it kind of do its own thing in a way.
Yeah.
Like I'm not so worried about, hey, this video didn't perform very well. Like, what can we do? I'm more like, okay, this is working for us. Let's just continue with it instead of being so why is this not working?
Yeah.
It almost flipped for me when he stopped working.
Really? That's so
Yes.
interesting because I feel like it wouldn't, because then you'd be more stressed. 'Cause you're like,
Yes.
I have this weight on my shoulders if I need to like pay the bills.
Yes, yes. But my management has been so incredible because they're so supportive.
Yeah.
They're like, it ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
And during a time when my account was slowing down a little bit, it was the busy season for social media. And
Yeah.
so they're getting,
Okay. So you feel like right now where you're at, what do you see yourself doing in like 5 years? Like, would you ever start a product, or would you like, what's your goals with your platform?
honestly, I don't feel passionate enough about a product to create it yet.
Yeah.
Who knows if that's in the future?
Because with hair, I mean, there's so many things you could do.
But also so many things have already been done.
Yeah.
That I'm like, I don't know if I care enough about hair necessarily
Yeah.
to do something. The mom space is also very much saturated. And so I also am in a place where I'm like, we'll just let this thing ride out and we'll
Yeah.
see where life takes us.
I love that.
Yeah.
Did you ever picture yourself being in this spot?
Honestly, yes.
Yeah.
Back when we were doing summer sales, when my husband was doing summer sales, I remember telling a friend, like, I would love to be an influencer. I think
Yeah.
it would be really fun and bring so many cool opportunities
For
that
sure.
you can't get other ways. And so when it started to happen, I was like, wait, this is working for me. Like,
Yeah.
I found something that I can be passionate about because I knew I wanted something outside of being a mom, but I didn't want it to take me outside of the home.
Yeah.
And content creation obviously is one of the best things that you can do to be still very much present with your children, but also have something on the side that gives you a little bit more purpose and things to work for.
Absolutely. Well, and I do think that having a community that like loves and supports you is probably such an amazing feeling of like,
Yes.
oh my gosh, I have all these like friends. Like,
Yes.
these are friends and this is a beautiful community that
Yes.
I've built.
Yes. And no matter who you meet in life, no one will be able to relate to you on every single level.
Yeah.
That's just not possible. But I feel like I do because I have 50,000 moms that can come to me and say, hey, I'm struggling with this. Or when I post, hey, I'm having a really hard day today, I have all of these amazing moms that reach out to me, hey, I had the same day too. Like, we're all in this together. Or I can go to them and say, you're an amazing mom. You can do this.
Yeah.
Times are hard and that's okay.
Yeah.
And it has been so absolutely incredible.
Well, and speaking of hard times as a mom,
Yeah.
there's like that trend of like losing your pink.
Yes.
Like, because when flamingos are pregnant, they're pink dolls, and then it takes a minute for them to get pink again. And it's
Yes.
this thing as women and moms, we give our kids everything and we forget about ourselves and our pink
Yes.
phase.
Yes. Yes.
Did you ever feel that way?
Yes and no. Yes, in the way that you are now caring for someone way more than you care for yourself.
Yeah.
And I think a little bit of everyone's pink leaves
Yeah.
when they become a mom. That's just inevitable because it's a new experience. You've never done
sure.
this before. But no, in the sense that I have always felt that I was supposed to be a mom. And I've always felt so close to my kids, whether like they weren't here on earth with me yet, but I felt them with me, supporting me and loving me and strengthening me throughout all the hard times in my life and times where I felt like I was alone. And so when I became a mom, I just remember Oakland being placed on my chest and life just felt complete. I knew that this was where we were supposed to be and this was where life was going to take me. And I don't know what life looks like 50 years from now, but this was the time that I was made for.
You were meant to be a mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're so good at it.
Oh, you're so nice. Thank you.
You seem to have like a lot of spiritual testimony and testimony of God.
Yeah.
Has that always been a part of your life?
Yes. Luckily, I don't know where I would be without it. I have always felt so strongly that I am a daughter of a loving Heavenly Father. And that has just carried me through difficult times.
Yeah.
And I have such loving parents. And so that was a relationship to me that was very tangible. I could picture a God loving me as his own and caring for me and showing me different ways that he loves me. Like I love when there's a beautiful sunset because I'm a very creative person and I just feel like God painted that sky for me. And I've always felt that very close relationship with him. And so then when I found an amazing husband and a loving partner, I felt, why not have babies and bring them into this loving relationship as well so that they can understand the love that a God out there has for them.
Absolutely. I love that. Well, and I feel like growing up in Florida, it's a different culture. Do you feel like your relationship with God would still be the same if you were raised in the Utah culture?
I don't know, which is so interesting.
Yeah.
Because yes, I grew up in the Bible Belt, but everyone had such a different relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
And in a lot of ways, other religions don't push it on you as much. We're in the Church of Jesus Christ. I feel like everyone just says that they know everything. Mm-hmm. And that is really hard for our generation because we ask so many more questions than people have before.
Yes.
And so in Florida, people, like I would go over to a friend's house and they would say prayers before dinner. And that was just a normal thing that we were all doing. And so I wish I could see my life growing up in Utah because I remember when I moved here, I was like, wait, you guys are all the same members of the same church and we don't act the same or we don't have the same.
Everyone's doing their own little thing.
Yes, yes. So I just remember thinking, what is going on? Like you don't believe in a God, but you're a member of the church. That was just super interesting for me. And it almost made my faith stronger.
Really?
Yes, because I knew I had tangible experiences as an 8-year-old girl to know that there was someone out there that loved me in a way that my parents love me. Yeah. And I don't know what life would be like if I had grown up in Utah.
Yeah. Do you mind sharing one of those experiences?
Yeah. I love the ocean. It's very much a place where I feel very close to God. But we were out in Utah here in Lake Powell, and I was 8 years old, and we got out on the channel, and there was a storm coming in, and I just remember the waves being massive, and our boat was making weird noises, and I was freaking out. Yeah. And my mom sat me in the back of the boat, and she said, let's say a prayer and ask that we will be protected. And I just remember my little 8-year-old heart being like, God, please help us. Help me feel safe. You don't need to take the storm away. You don't need to take anything away. But please just help me feel safe and that everything's going to be okay. And the storm didn't go away, but I felt peace. And from that moment on, I've always felt that there was a God out there who loved me and cared for me.
I love that. I feel like you were probably the best missionary.
Oh, you're so nice.
Like, did you feel like when you left your mission where you're like, I did a really good job?
Yeah. And I felt like I was more called, not necessarily for the people in North Dakota, but for my companions.
Yeah.
I wanted to show them that God loved them. And on your mission, you feel alone a lot of the time because you can't call family whenever you want. You can't just text, Mom, will you buy me a plane ticket home? Like, this is really hard. So you have to rely on either your companion, and if you don't get along with them, yourself and God. And I just wanted to tell those girls, like, you are not alone. And so that was such an amazing part of my life and so many others, because that's when you learn firsthand, like, this is going to be okay.
No, you seem like you'd also be a really good friend too. Do you have a lot of female friendships that you're really close with?
Yes. And honestly, the closest are my sisters.
Really?
Yeah. And I've just always been so close with them.
Sorry to interrupt, but today's episode is brought to you by Spearmint Love. Spring is finally here and Easter is just around the corner. Whether you're planning adorable Easter basket surprises, a family brunch, or just want to freshen up your little one's wardrobe for the season, Spearmint Love has the sweetest spring styles to make every moment extra special. You guys already know how much I love their super soft bamboo and organic waffle sets, but they have a bunny print that is seriously so cute for Easter and spring. It's a must-have for Easter morning or family photos. They also have classic pink, blues, and neutral tones for the perfect spring refresh. And if you're looking for sibling matching sets, they've got you covered. Spearmint Love has all the cutest spring and Easter outfits and the softest high quality fabrics. Spearmint Love is more than just a baby boutique. It is a trusted name in the baby and family space, loved for exclusive aesthetic collections and premium essentials. From their headquarters in sunny Arizona, they ship fast so you can have your seasonal favorites right on time. Visit spearmintlove.com and you can use code WEEKLYTRASH for an exclusive 25% off your order. That's right, 25% off. Use code WEEKLYTRASH at spearmintlove.com. And thank you, Spearmint Love, for sponsoring today's episode. That's such a fun bond, too. And then to see your daughters so close together.
Yes.
Do you want more kids?
Yes. In the future, I got an IUD now, so we're...
Okay. So no more breastfeeding and thinking it's fine. Are you breastfeeding?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
And it's gone well because you had to end kind of quickly after finding out you were pregnant.
Yes. And that was really difficult for me because I always wanted to breastfeed my baby until they didn't want to anymore. But then I quickly learned, obviously, fed is best. Yeah. And so this time it's been great, but I'm also very much willing to go and buy formula if she ever needs it. But it's been great for us.
But you have an IUD.
Yep.
And you're just sticking with the two for a hot minute.
Yes. We think we'll have another baby in like 2027.
Okay.
So far.
The type A planner. I love it.
Yes.
No, I get it. Would you be one of those people? I asked somebody else this. If you don't get a boy, are you going to keep trying for a boy?
No. And I think coming from a household of girls, I'm okay with not having boys for my girls. But the second I had my second, I knew a boy was coming to our family next. Really? So we'll see if my mother instincts are right.
And I don't even know if you'd call it mother instincts. I feel like you're very in tune with like your spirituality and like feeling this presence. I'm like, if it's not a boy, I would be shocked because you're pretty in tune with things.
Yeah.
So well, that's so exciting that you have your two, you're living life. What's a typical day-to-day as a mom with Irish twins?
So my girls wake up around 8 or 9, which is
that's
such a
really
blessing.
Good.
Yes. So we wake up around then, give Oakland, my oldest, her bottle, and then we go downstairs, have breakfast, do all the little play things. I love leaving the house. Yeah, I have to leave the house at least once a day. And so we usually leave the house in the morning because I don't care to deal with traffic with two screaming babies in the car. So we leave the house in the morning, do a little outing for me or a little outing for them, and then come home, eat lunch, put Oakland down for a nap, and make dinner, and the day's pretty much gone.
A typical day.
Yeah.
And how do you incorporate making content? Because do you feel like you want to film your kids a ton and your life a ton and be like a family vlogger? Or do you want to focus more on you and hair? Or do you like want a mix of both? Like, where do you see your channel going as your kids get older?
Honestly, I don't know from here, but I know for a fact I don't want my page to be only about them.
Gotcha.
I want them to be able to say, no, I don't want to film, and me not be like, come on, like, let's do it. I'll give you a sucker. I don't want any part of that world. And so I very much want it to be my life and it can be a mom, it can be a wife, it can be any of the traits that I have.
Yeah.
And if some videos include them, great. If not, that's totally fine.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's a good balance.
Yes.
And to be able to know what you don't want right now.
Yes.
It's good.
Yes.
Because you can get sucked into something and then look back and be like, but I actually didn't really want it to be that way.
Totally. Yes.
And so that's good that you know what you want starting now.
Yes. And I'm totally fine with people asking questions about my girls and stuff like that. I'm totally fine sharing that because they are so little.
Yeah.
And this time of life can be so difficult for moms. And I want to be that safe space. I want them to feel okay with having a hard day and laundry being everywhere around my house. But I also don't want my girls to be the only purpose that people come to my page.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you see yourself staying in Utah forever?
Yes, because all of our families are here. I would love to go and live somewhere else, but we kind of had that with summer sales, which is really nice because you live somewhere else for 4 months, get to explore, and then you go back home. I don't see ourselves moving, but we would love a house in Florida someday. That's the goal.
Destin, Florida.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
literally
yes.
such a dream, such a dream. You've had a lot of cool experiences being, an influencer and having this as your career. What's been the coolest thing?
Honestly, and as cliche as it may sound, it's just connecting with other moms.
Yeah.
I think it's a really difficult time of life, but also a really difficult time to be a part of this world. And raising babies in a very tumultuous time of life can be really overwhelming for someone who's about to get pregnant or who is pregnant. And we just create little safe spaces in our home and we protect our kids from whatever we can. But also we need them to go and experience life and live. And so finding a safe space on social media has been such an amazing opportunity. And I've loved going to events or getting sent PR. Who doesn't want
for sure
free things? But that is definitely the most rewarding thing and things that keeps me going every day.
Absolutely. Because do you ever have hard days? Do you ever get hate?
Honestly, no.
I'm like, how could they hate you? Because you're too nice, you're too perfect, you're too sweet.
Honestly, I feel like the one thing I get hate on is sleep training. And I understand that's a very controversial topic.
Yeah.
But that's really the only thing, which is really nice.
So you don't really have bad mental days?
No.
That's good.
Bad mental days, not because of social media.
I mean, there's the mental days of motherhood.
Yes.
But I feel like for a lot of influencers who do have maybe more controversial pages.
Yes.
I can't even fathom how they function when it's the mental toll of people hating you.
Exactly.
That's a hard thing to do.
And almost hating your kids in a way too.
Yes.
That would be really difficult.
Yes. The mean trolls on the internet that bring in these sweet children into their hatred souls and say the meanest things. And I'm like, one, what is wrong with you?
No.
And two, how is that influencer handling that? Because that is so hard. So I'm glad you don't have to deal with any of that mentally.
Yes.
And you can just focus on the mental load of motherhood being hard.
Yes,
because
exactly.
it can be.
Yes.
When you decided I'm going to take social media full force, I'm going to do this, was there anything you changed in your day-to-day to be able to be as successful as you are?
I don't think so.
No?
No.
You just kept doing what you were doing.
Yes. And I'm no Emily Kaiser posting 5 times a day. That woman's another breed. She's incredible.
Yes.
She is absolutely amazing. But I've just found what worked for me, and posting once a day has worked. And I do little daily recaps on my Instagram stories and that's worked. And
just kept on going.
Yeah.
The consistency. I love it.
Yep.
What advice would you give to a mom right now that found out she's going to have Irish twins?
Don't worry about the future. That's what I was so worried about, because as a first time expecting mom, you kind of picture carrying this cute little baby around with you to the grocery store and what you're doing in your day-to-day life, just having a little buddy. But then once you have a baby and then you're like, wait, I'm going to have another baby that's going to be coming out around with me and I'm going to be outnumbered. That was so spiraling for me. I could just lay in bed holding Oakland thinking, I don't know how I'm going to have 2 babies in my arms. And I spent so many hours freaking out, having multiple mental breakdowns, thinking about the future, but it's not worth it because you don't know what the future holds. You don't know what kind of baby you're going to have, and you don't know what life is going to look like. I didn't know that my husband was going to quit his job and be home with me. That would have obviously given me lots of peace when I was figuring all of that stuff out. But the more that you worry, the more you're stressing yourself out for no reason. And there's no reason. to worry about it. You don't
worry
know
about the future.
Yeah.
It's the unknown.
Exactly.
It's a waste of energy. And it's hard to be like, okay, I'm not going to
Easier
worry
said
about
than
this.
done.
Especially if you're an anxious person that's like, and I feel like type A people love planning. So when it's not planned, and you're just like, what?
Thrown into it.
It's kind of scary.
Yes, totally.
But just that's the advice, is to not worry about the unknown and just it's going to work out.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's going to work. And that baby was meant to be with your family at this point. And so it's going to work.
Would you ever have this close of an age gap again?
No.
No. You're like, this was fun.
Yes.
But we are going to be doing some form of birth control.
Yes. I think we'll do like an 18, 19 month gap. Yeah. So it's still very close. But not
under a year.
No. Not having your first child's birthday party and having a 6-week-old in your arms. Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
And you told me, you're like, my life was pretty normal growing up, healthy parents, and now it's kind of chaos. And when you say that, are you referring to the fact that you have 2 little babies so close together?
Yes.
Like, it isn't normal to have babies that close together.
And seeing old people in the grocery store, they're like, wow, you have your hands full. I'm like, yeah.
You're like, yeah. But the funny thing is you seem to be thriving.
I truly am.
Like, you really look like you have your crap together.
Thank you. As much as I like try to make it seem that way, I really feel like I do.
I love that.
Yeah.
Give me some of that energy. I need it. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Well, I feel like people listening who maybe haven't met you in person and they see you online and they're like, is Montana as nice and sweet as she is? Guys, she is.
No.
Like,
you're so nice.
She is. She's so bubbly and sweet and perfect. And I feel like people online sometimes can like pretend to be bubbly, and then in real life they're not as bubbly and they're not as sweet. But like, you're the epitome of exactly what you are online. And so like, I want to applaud you for that, because that's,
thank you.
Sometimes it's tricky. Some people want to put on a facade, and like, you really are as sweet and genuine online as you are in person.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on Weekly Trash.
Yes, I'm obsessed
and taking
with
out trash with me.
Of course.
But before you leave, you have to do trash topic can. So you're gonna pick a topic.
I'm so excited.
From this trash can. I don't know how many. Are there some in there?
Oh yeah,
good.
There's plenty.
I'm nervous.
Fell
out.
Is that meant to be?
Who knows? Who knows? I think I hope they're all G-rated. I mean, I haven't said one swear word this entire episode. I said crap. Like, who am I? It's the short hair. Someone told me I look like the first lady, and so I'm like, okay, I'm just very proper now.
Prim and proper.
No F words here.
Yes,
okay, what is it?
Feeling good. Biggest lesson you've learned this year?
Ooh, biggest lesson this year. I mean, you had the babies.
Yes.
No, you had the babies. Was it?
Yeah.
It's 2025. It's 2025 now, so you haven't learned anything this year.
No.
What have you learned in the last 6 days?
That I hate winter.
That winter
learn it
sucks.
again.
Okay,
over
we
and
need
over.
to pick another one because this year just started.
Okay, let's see.
Also, my handwriting is garbage.
Oh, you're fine. What's the most important quality in a friend?
Oh, that's a good one.
That one's really sweet. I would say that you are flexible.
Okay.
Because I feel like I've lost a couple friendships after
not
becoming
physically flexible for those who might be confused.
I've lost a few friendships being a mom just because my life is busy, and I'm sorry, but my life doesn't revolve around you anymore. It revolves around my girls. And you have to understand that friendships ebb and flow, but also your communication is going to ebb and flow. Just because we're not talking every single day anymore doesn't mean that I don't love you, that I'm not there for you, and I will drop anything I can to come and help you. But also that life is going to be okay. And flexible also comes with, hey, I'm having a really hard day. Can you help me? Or you're having a really hard time. Let me help you in any way that I can.
For sure. I think maturing is realizing that friendships don't have to be that you talk every single day and that you're,
hanging out once
every
a week.
second.
Yes.
Like, it's life gets in the way, and the best friendships are the ones where if you don't talk for a week and then you see each other and it's like
goes right back to normal.
Exactly.
Yes.
And for me, like, the number one thing I look for in friendship is just someone who brings out the best in me. Someone that makes me like want to be better.
Yes.
And like, I really have a hard time with people who aren't confident in themselves.
Yes. Yes.
Because I'm pretty confident. Like, everyone has bad days. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, totally.
I have days where I'm really like, I hate myself. I'm going to go jump off a cliff. Like, we all have those days.
Yes, yes.
But the people that are constantly a negative Nancy, they're always a downer. They're always like, poor me, like, I don't do well with that
Yes.
because I'm such like a go-getter.
Yes.
And so if in a friendship, if I have like someone who's just like constantly almost like pulling me down,
Yes.
which luckily I've never really had that. I've had the same best friends since I was little. Thank
That's
goodness.
amazing. Yes.
But there's definitely been people in my life that I have felt that energy. And I'm
Totally.
like, we could never be best friends.
Yes. Yes. Or someone that complains and complains and complains and never does anything about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm totally fine to listen to you complain and
Yeah.
vent about your life
Yeah.
because we all need times like
For
that.
sure.
But if you're not going to do anything to change it and you're just going to keep, like, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing,
Expecting a different result.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we got to switch something up
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, no. That's like the big, I'm like, we need people around us that want to make us be better and like uplift us
Exactly.
and like show us like how to be creative in different ways. Like
Totally.
it's a big part of growing up is also realizing the people you need to be around.
Yes.
Because you are who you surround yourself with.
Totally. And that's why I'm so grateful to have all sisters.
Yeah, that's fun.
We all build each other up in such different ways and we can tease each other and bring each other down to our lowest points.
Yes, we love.
But also we're there at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
Which is so nice.
And I mean, I feel like me and my sister weren't close at all when we were little because we were 5 years apart.
Oh, yeah.
But now we're growing up and like she's in a similar life. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, we're both adults now. Like, it's not like I'm a teenager and you're 10. Like,
Totally.
we're friends. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And that's the only reason why I went back and forth on if I was done having kids.
Oh,
Because I
yeah.
have a girl and 2 boys. And I was
Yes.
like, do I want my daughter to have a sister?
Yes.
But I also see my friends who had no sisters and the bond that they have with their female friendships
Yes.
is huge.
And with their mom.
And
like
with their
you were such
mom.
an amazing person.
Oh, thank you.
And so I know that she is going to be your bestie.
We'll probably have hard times.
Yes.
Because she is me and I
love
was a
it.
brat. So it's going to be brutal in the high school, teenage years,
Yes.
but I'm hoping because I'm going to be the cool mom.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there will be rules, okay?
Yes,
But
yes.
like, I'm hoping because she is so much like me, I'll be able to figure out like, okay, am I bugging her? Like, what do I
Totally.
need to change?
And like communicate in a way to her
Yeah.
that she understands.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it is cool to see like women who have all sisters and like that bond and that female friendship. And it does make me go, oh, should I have another one?
Yeah.
But no,
There's
I'm
no
done.
guarantee
I'm
that
done.
you're
I'm
having
done.
a girl.
I'm done.
So
That's the other thing.
yes.
That's the other
Because
thing.
then when do you stop?
Exactly.
You
You
have
just
4 more
keep
boys.
trying and
Yeah.
trying and trying. And then I'm like, okay, I'm done being pregnant. Like I don't want this.
Yeah.
Because unlike you, I don't have these great pregnancies. I'm like, literally, no.
Like round
No,
of
no,
applause
no.
to you. I don't understand. I could not imagine.
Isn't that crazy how women can be so different?
Yes.
In so many ways.
Yes. And my sister who now has 2 boys, her pregnancies are so hard. She's
So she has 2
sick.
boys and you have 2 girls.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Do any of your other sisters have kids yet?
So my third is pregnant with a girl.
See, and that's so fun. You guys get to
Yes.
all have like babies together and help babysit.
Yes.
That's fun.
Yeah. They're
'Cause
going to be all besties.
Your sister's 20 months younger than you?
yeah.
So that's my 2 oldest. That's their age gap.
It's so fun.
And I'm like, they're either the best of friends or they
The worst.
bicker like crazy.
Yes. Yes.
But they're also a boy and a girl. So I'm curious to see how it'll
their dynamic
grow
changes
as
yeah.
they get older.
Yeah. They'll be hanging out with each other's friends, dating each other's
That's going to be
friends.
so interesting.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But you are so amazing. Thank you
You're
so
so
much for
sweet.
coming on
Thank
Weekly
you so
Trash.
much for
and
having
talking
me.
with me. You're the
Yes.
cutest ever, and I cannot wait to see all the things to come and all the other
Thank you.
cute babies that you'll have.
Thank
And,
you.
It's gonna be a boy with the vibe
Yes,
that we're
yes,
feeling down the
yes.
road. But seriously, thank you so much for coming. You're the best.
Thank you so much.
I hope you guys have the best week ever, and don't forget to take out your trash. Bye.